Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amila and you're watching Amila Muslima. So today I wanted to make a video, and basically the topic is perfection, this idea that we have of perfection. And basically I wanted to kind of share some stories of some people I've interacted with at my boutique when I first converted to Islam and started wearing hijab. And so let's get into it. If you guys hear any noise, my son is recording a YouTube video as well, so you might hear that. So when I first converted to Islam and I started wearing the hijab, of course people that saw me before and then saw me with hijab, they kind of, interacted with me and started asking questions like, hey, are you the same woman that was here before? And I said, yeah. You're a Muslim now? I said, yeah. So to my surprise, some of the women that I was interacting with, they were Muslim. But I would have never guessed that they were Muslim because of my prior interactions with them. And they didn't cover up, they didn't wear hijab. And, I talked with them and I just kind of asked them like, oh, okay, cool, I didn't know you were Muslim. How long have you been Muslim? And as I interacted with quite a few of them, I came to the realization that they were kind of in a rebellious state that they didn't want to cover up. And when I asked them why, it had nothing to do with the religion. It more so had to do with their interaction with the Muslims and their family and the pressure that they put on them to be perfect. And it was so overwhelming that they just rebelled against the religion and just decided like, I don't want to be a part of this, because the people were so, their standards were so impossible and they were so strict with them from the time that they were young. So when they grew up and they could make their own decisions, they decided to kind of shy away from being a hijabi. So, in my last video, I talked about misconceptions about Islam and, we're not forced to cover up. But when you're born in a Muslim family, I guess, it's something that's taught to you to cover up. But the way that it's taught to you will affect your feelings about hijab. And there's nothing wrong with the way that hijab is supposed to be taught to you, because the Quran explains that there's a responsibility of the elders to teach the young ones about hijab. But some people take that and then they kind of really pressure the younger girls to be perfect from a young age, and it's a little overwhelming for people from what I've been hearing from the ladies that I've encountered. So this idea of perfection is something that's taught to us from the time we're young, and there is no perfection. We are trying to achieve perfection. We're not perfect. And then another thing that I've encountered is some people that were not Muslim, that were interested in Islam, that I had conversations with. And it's interesting because, my store, I'm supposed to be just selling stuff to people and telling them, about my products and about my designs and stuff. But it started to become something where people will come in and I'll just be talking maybe 75% of the day talking about Islam and not really talking about my clothes anymore or my accessories or whatever I was selling in the store. It was like a dawah center or something. But people would come in and they would talk to me, and I wouldn't be in a rush to not talk about Islam. So we would have these deep conversations, and they were just women that were just like my customers. They come in regularly, and I saw them sometimes, and they just come in and have a chat with me, basically. So I did encounter the other type of woman that was not a Muslim, but was interested in Islam, and they said really interesting things, and it was quite a few of them. They kind of all said this similar things. And I remember this one lady, she said, I want to be a Muslim, but, before I enter Islam, I need to stop smoking. So that's why I haven't took my Shahada yet, because I have to stop smoking. And I kind of asked her, like, do you think that the women that are Muslim are perfect? Do you think that taking a scarf and covering yourself, or wearing long sleeves or anything like this, do you think that that just automatically makes us perfect? Because we're not perfect. Granted, I don't smoke or anything like that, but everyone has their own thing that they're dealing with that they kind of want to tackle. There's no perfection in this. We're all trying. So I kind of explained to her, like, your idea is you want to stop smoking so that you can be worthy of God's love. And that's kind of backward. And, respectfully, she was a nice lady, and I wasn't trying to, say it in a bad way. But I explained to her that when you come into Islam, this beautiful religion will help you to stop smoking. You don't have to stop smoking to join this religion. We accept you as you are. And if the people don't accept you as you are, it's not about the Muslims. It's about God. It's about Allah. He accepts you in the best or in the worst conditions. It's basically, you come in a sinner that's trying to lessen his sins as an act of worship to God, and trying to perfect himself and trying to live a happy life within the boundaries of Islam. So this idea that you have to be perfect before you come to the religion, you don't have to be perfect. Don't feel like you have to, I have to stop smoking before I decide to come into this religion because I want to take it seriously. Of course you want to take it seriously, but don't feel like you have to be perfect before you come to God. God is not looking for perfection. He's looking for effort. And he wants you just to be genuine. And then I had a conversation with another friend of mine, and I'm in the fashion industry, and I come across all kinds of people, and I've never been really too judgmental. So it's a friend of mine, and he is gay, and he was really intrigued with my change, and he asked me, if I wanted to become a Muslim, would I have to stop being homosexual and all of this. And I said, listen, in the Quran, Allah says, I can forgive any sin if I wish to forgive any sin except the sin of shirk. Shirk is worshiping other than God. So God can forgive any sin if he wishes, except the sin of worshiping other than God. So I said, I can't, answer that for you. Those are moments that you're going to have within yourself. In those moments that you're connecting with God, God will change you into what you can be, or perfect you as you go. There's people that, they have all these things that they feel like are not worthy of being a Muslim. But you'll find that sometimes, if you really know Muslim people, they're not perfect. And if you are already a Muslim and you were brought up in Islam and your family was very pressurizing in your perfection, then, I could kind of understand why you would be a little bit insecure and upset and, wanting to rebel. But you have to understand, you cannot let other people damage your relationship with God. And, I do come across sometimes men that are like, sister, your hair is showing, or whatever. Like they're really strict. And it's annoying. And it's like, you feel offended, like, you're not perfect, so don't nitpick about any little thing that I'm doing. Little do they know, like, I'm a new Muslim and I'm just trying to perfect it. I cover myself, but they're like looking for something that's wrong. And that's actually not a part of Islam, for you to look at someone and try to find everything that's wrong with them. You should be looking at yourself and trying to perfect yourself. Each Muslim has to try to perfect their own self to please God. So if you were brought up Muslim and the people in your family were really, strict and stressing you out, you have to kind of put them aside and just worry about your relationship with God. And if you are interested in entering Islam, but you feel like you're not perfect, you don't need to feel like that. I'm not perfect. And I know few Muslim people, and they're not perfect either. So there is not perfection. There's just the striving for perfection. So I thought it was really important to make this video because we're really hard on ourselves, especially now with social media and everything. We see all these images and we get presented all these things, through movies or music or whatever. Things, music and movies are not halal for us to be enjoying and wasting time with, but we see these things and we see all these images of perfection and these ideas of perfection, and it affects us. So we feel this, this pressure to reach that bar that's set so high that's not even real. Everything's photoshopped and everything's prepped. That's why if you notice when I do these videos, and as I do these videos, I don't doll myself up much. And before I was, a hijabi, I was pretty dolled up all the time. With my crazy hair, blue, purple, pink, and lashes, and glitter, and, the whole nine. I don't really do that anymore because I don't want to contribute to all this facade that's going on. I feel like, it's okay, we're women, we like to look nice and stuff, but you have to kind of focus your energies on what's more important. And for me, what's more important is sharing my feelings and my experiences on YouTube so that people that come into Islam and are going through the same thing, they can kind of see that they're not alone. Because when you come into the religion, sometimes your family from birth, they don't really get it. And your friends from before, they don't really get it. And you don't really have new friends yet. And you don't really have a support system yet. So I know what I did is I went online and I just wanted to see people's story. And, this is one of the stories that people can see. So as I interact with people, sometimes I find like there's different things that I feel I should share. So this idea of perfection doesn't really exist. It's just something that has been put out there that we wear that. And we feel like, okay, yeah, I have to be perfect. And that's just not the case. I feel like it's one of the tricks of Satan, like this idea that we're so dirty and we're so sinful and we're so horrible that we're not worthy of God's love, but we are worthy of God's love. And I think also, some of the interactions that we have in our life, whether it be our parents or our spouse or friends that hurt us, and it makes us feel like maybe we weren't worthy of that person's love and that's why they didn't want us, or different things that we go through in life that make us feel unwanted. It just contributes to it, but God is not like that. You have to realize that God is the creator of all things, and He created you with so much love, and He has a plan for everything. Every grain of rice you've ever had has been planned out for you. And every drop of water that you've ever consumed or used, it has been planned out for you. So how much love would that have to take for someone to plan all these beautiful things for your life? And sometimes there's hard things in life, and that's a part of the plan also, to shape you into the person that you are now. And God loves you so much, and you don't have to be perfect. So please, please come into Islam with all your flaws and a genuine intention to strive for perfection and to improve yourself without being pressured by the world in such a way that you start to feel unworthy of God's love. Because that's a really dangerous thing. So I hope you guys kind of understood what I wanted to say. And I hope you guys know that I'm not perfect. And I haven't met anyone that's perfect. And you're not perfect. And that's okay. Islam accepts you with all your flaws. All you need is a genuine intention to be a better person every day. So, Assalamu alaikum, and spread love.